Færðu eitthvað svona tilfinninguna þegar þú vaknar miðja nótt að sé eitthvað með þér í myrkrinu?
Hvað ertu að gera þetta? Hvað er ég að gera? Hvað ert þú að gera? Það var eitthvað sem gerðist hérna sem ég langaði til að muna.
Ég sé stundum hluti í myrkrinu.
Þú hringdir í mig í gær. Þú sagðir að það var einhver inni hjá þér.
Hvað er þessum sem þú komst? Hvað helst það væri einhver annar? Slökktu ljósið. Halló?
Halló?
I'm not going to even try and pronounce your name, but welcome.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations on your movie, which I've just been told they were in silent last night, which is not easy for British people.
Yeah, I heard that apparently like you could hear like a nail drop, which is great. That's like a great compliment for like a thriller, I think.
So for those people who have not seen it, without giving it all away, what is your movie about?
So it's basically about two guys who used to be a couple, Einar and Gunnar. Einar, he calls Gunnar up in the middle of the night a few months after they broke up and sounds like he's going to do something bad to himself. So Gunnar drives up in the middle of the night to this cabin in the middle of nowhere to basically save him. And once he arrives at the cabin, he quickly begins to realize that things are not quite what they seem, and what he thought was happening is not at all what is going on.
So this is your story?
A little bit. I mean, like
Which bit?
well, I mean, the idea, the core idea, kind of came after I had my own breakup, and I was trying to kind of channel a lot of emotions into something creative. We didn't like the situation I had is not what the situation the guys in the movie have, but a lot of the I feel like the kind of the emotional truthfulness of it came from me, I hope.
So you're one of those filmmakers who doesn't go to therapy, you make films about it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not cheaper though, it's actually a lot more expensive.
It is. There's a great chemistry between your two leads, and but their sexuality is not the centre core of the story, as in most gay movies. Why was that so important to you?
I don't even know if it was necessarily that important to me. I think I was more trying to do a story about characters that, you know, it was this particular story is more about the end of a relationship and how two people kind of reconcile that end in different ways. And like, it's not a coming out story. There's no real kind of adverse cultural background, you know. So for this story, it just didn't fit in to kind of bring their sexuality too much to the surface. I just wanted them just to be, like, just live their lives, do what they do. But at the same time, I think that is very, that's rare. You don't see that a lot in gay movies. So I thought it would be maybe refreshing to see a story told this way.
What's even more rare is a gay horror story.
Yes.
Why did you choose to make it a gay horror story?
Well, I mean, I feel like breakups are, you know, they're their own kind of horror story.
I like that.
You know, it's always messy when you have a breakup, and it felt like, you know, all those kind of conflicting thoughts you have in your head felt, for me, very appropriate for like a psychological thriller where you're not quite sure if the main character is experiencing it how he sees it, or maybe something else is happening. So that just kind of came naturally to the story, and also I'm a big horror movie guy. I tend to write in that genre. So.
I saw that, but so this is not your first horror, but it's your first gay one?
Yes, well, I did my first horror film. It's called Child Eater, which it has a gay character, and it has kind of a queer subtext, you know, there's like a monster hiding in the closet of a little boy, you know, and the boy is definitely like modeled after myself from when I was a kid. But again, it's like not necessarily
doing your therapy.
Exactly. You have to, you have to get it out, in a healthy way.
So is your track going forward as a queer filmmaker or as a horror filmmaker, do you think?
I mean, I would love to be able to do a little bit of both. I feel like it depends on the story. Like I try not to force any story to be any specific thing, but pretty much everything that I have written will have either a queer character or queer elements, just because that's the life that I live. That's like the existence that I know. So
you live a horror life.
I live a fairly horrible life.
So, to my recollection, this is my third Icelandic gay movie.
Yeah, that's
11 out in 2005, Heartstone last year, which I loved, and now yours. So, are they tough to finance and produce, or is it just not a demand?
I think it's, I don't even know if it's not a demand. I think it's more we don't have enough queer filmmakers working. Most of the filmmakers working in Iceland are straight and male, and the stories that they choose to tell, usually are not queer centered, which that's fine. They need to do their stories, but I think there is kind of I don't know if I can call it a resurgence, but there's definitely like a movement, I feel like, in Iceland, in kind of independent cinema, where different types of stories are being told by people who haven't necessarily had the chance to tell those stories. So I think that's very exciting.
You think there'll be more? So we'll get to double digits.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, it might take a few years, but because Iceland only makes like 5 features a year. So.
And are they hard to cast as well?
Well, this one was very. I mean, I'm not going to say easy to cast. There's always, it's a process. But these actors, they like the queerness of the film had not they were just super excited to do it. For both of them, it was something different than they had been used to doing. They're both from the theater. So they just saw the film as like a good challenge for them to kind of try out different types of roles, and also it's almost like a two-hander, so they get a lot of screen time. So I think that's always exciting for
the actor.
Yeah.
So I've never been to Iceland. So is gay life good in Germany?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, there's always like some issues. There's never 100% acceptance. I think
any country,
but we've been pretty kind of forward moving in like the civil rights movement, like gay civil rights movement. Like we were one of the first countries in the world to legalize gay marriage, and now I think the fight is more has to do with like trans rights.
Yeah.
So there's a very active and I think very strong queer community.
A big community?
I mean, Iceland is such a small country, so I don't know if you can call it big, but
I have friends from America who went to Iceland for gay pride.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that show up for gay pride, but most of those people are straight.
Yeah,
it's because it's kind of a family festival.
And you studied in Columbia in university. Do you ever see yourself making films in America?
Yeah, I want to. I have some projects that I definitely think are better suited for like a U.S. Location or U.S. market. But then I also have a lot of stories in Iceland that I want to tell. So ideally, I would love to be able to do both. Do one in the U.S., do one in Iceland. We'll see how that goes.
What's the next move for the movie after Flare? What happens to the movie after Flare?
So we're kind of at the end of our festival run. We've been doing it.
You started Outfest, I know.
Yeah, it's been like a year now almost. So it's been kind of a whirlwind situation. It's been really fun, and the film has been in a lot of different places. So now, hopefully, just getting it distributed to as many places as possible. We have people working on that. So hopefully, in the UK, you'll be able to see it for yourselves soon.
And in the US?
In the US, it's already out. It's like you can rent it on iTunes and Amazon Prime and a bunch of different places, and DVD.
Good, because we're global and we're based in the US.
Yeah.
What's next for you?
So next for me is I'm working on an adaptation of like a Icelandic crime thriller novel that has some spooky elements. So it's not too far removed from what Rift is. It's in a similar kind of wheelhouse, and we are planning to shoot that this winter. So like November, something like that. And then I'm constantly writing other things that I hope will see the light of day at some point.
So you need crisis in your personal life to make better movies?
No, I hope not. I think I'd rather not.
Is it time we had an Icelandic romance?
Maybe. I mean, we have. I think they might not travel as well as kind of the romantic countryside movies, but we've had a couple of like nice little romantic comedies come from Iceland. But I think I feel like genre films in Iceland need a little bit of like a cultural boost. I feel like people a little bit look down on genre films in Iceland. I mean, they do kind of all around the world, but I would love to see more. Whether it's a horror movie or a romantic comedy or even like a science fiction movie, like more diverse type of storytelling happen in Iceland.
And we know whatever it is will be a reflection of your life, so we know what's going on with you.
Yeah, but you never know how much. I try to hide it as much as I can.
I hear, because at the end of Rift, there's a mystery is unresolved. So
exactly.
you like it to keep. That's the best way.
Well, I mean, I think if you're in a serious relationship, it's never you can walk away from it, but it's always going to stay with you. So you can never escape it, and I think that's kind of what that end means to me.
Good to talk to you, and
good to
hopefully see you next movie.
Thank you.
Hello?